What is up, Nerf Herders? I am Scott.
I'm John.
Jason.
And welcome to the Nerf Herders Podcast. This is episode 2. It is February 12th, 2015. And, whew, here we are, episode 2, guys.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So yeah, let's kick it right in with some movie news. First couple things here, just little things, but Neil Blomkamp released some images recently about, an alien movie he was looking at doing, and Sigourney Weaver kind of came out and spoke about it now that she's interested in doing it. So now it looks like this could be a possibility.
Yeah, I thought I thought that whole thing just got shot down like a month or two ago.
Well, he posted like a lot of images, I think, on his Instagram account, and it was like his concept art for a possible alien movie. So it had like the space jockey outfit with Sigourney Weaver inside of it, but it was actually like a xenomorph and not like one of the architects. And it was really cool, but he actually posted, when he posted all that artwork, he basically said, no, this movie's not happening. I'm just posting this because it's what I've been working on in private. And then, he just comes out and he says, well, it looks like Fox is like, do it.
Yeah. Which would be awesome. I mean, I'm down for Prometheus 2. I cannot wait for that. Mm-hmm. But to continue off of Alien Resurrection and still get more of that storyline with Sigourney Weaver, like, I don't see why they can't do that.
I think he also said that it's gonna be a standalone film.
Yeah, which would be cool.
Which would be really cool. So.
Yeah, we were getting a new Predators movie, so why not?
Mm-hmm. Who's directing new Predators?
Oh crap, man, what's his name? He was in the original movie, did Iron Man 3. I can't think of the dude's
John
name.
Favreau?
No, the Iron Man 3 he did. I can't think of his freaking name, dude. Wow, that's gonna drive me crazy.
we'll come back to that one.
We'll come back to that one.
Go back to this alien thing here. You know, it looks cool, right? It looks cool about it though. It looks like a total infiltration suit. Like she's totally infiltrating like their home base.
Yeah,
you know
absolutely.
What I mean? Who's that director?
Shane Black. Thank you. Yeah, he's co-writing it with another guy. I can't think of his damn name now either. But the guy that wrote the Monster Squad. So it's a pretty good duo going on here.
Yeah. Well, what was cool about the concept art is they also had other characters from previous Alien films in the concept art.
Yeah.
Like the guy who played Kyle Reese in Terminator.
Oh, yeah.
So, because he was in Aliens, and he played one of the military guys, one of the Colonial Marines. So, like, they had him in there, and then, I don't know, it seems like he'll incorporate some other stuff, like, from the previous films.
That'd be killer, man. I'm down for it. News broke, too. New Halloween movie. It's been talked about forever that they were going to, first it was going to be a part 3 continuing off the Rob Zombie films, and he wasn't going to be a part of it. Now they're saying not a reboot, not a remake, not a reimagining. It's a whole recalibration. I don't know what the hell that means. I have no idea what they're planning.
What's the difference between a reboot and a recalibration? Like, what are you recalibrating?
That's what I don't understand. Like, if you're going to redo the whole thing, it's a reimagining. Like, if you're planning on, like, doing what Rob Zombie did, you're doing a reimagining. Like, you're just going to take the character and create something out of it.
Well, it looks like, it was the writers of Saw are going to be given the task of doing this film, I think.
Yeah.
And
I like Saws. I like this.
I'm mixed about them. I thought Rob Zombie kind of butchered Halloween, but I don't know. I just think they should leave it alone. Like, there's so much more they can do and make with other films. Halloween's kind of just gone through the ringer. Like, you have like 7 films prior to Rob Zombie doing it, and then it's just like, I don't know. I think it's overdone. I think Michael Myers has been trashed way too much. From the original like 3 films, like, or at least the first 2.
Yeah, it's like, how do you restore all of that? It's like, the character Michael Myers is cool. I mean, it's just like with Predator and Alien, you got these iconic characters where it's like, it's cool to see new movies being made now with these characters we all grew up with and loved, but it's like, just do it good. Like, the Rob Zombie, the first film, like, there's parts about it I enjoyed. I have my reserves, but that second film was one of the biggest pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life. I hate that movie. Like, up and down, hate it.
Yeah, it's awful.
And the third one was like one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh, the original third one. That was pretty good.
Fantastic. Yeah. But, like, they got to do, if they're going to do this whole recalibration thing, like, they need to get away from everything that's happened and do, like, a legit reimagining. New backstory, new everything. Just wipe it. Like, the character is just like a James Bond. Treat it like that. Like, just make a story with Michael Myers. It doesn't have to be revolving around the Strodes and, all this kind of thing. Just something brand new. Something brand new with Michael Myers that we haven't seen. If we don't get that, I think it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't need another origin story for Michael Myers.
The thing is, I know we got to move on, but real quick, like, I'm going to raise a question. It's like, man, neck is itchy. Like, when is Hollywood gonna like understand that like when is enough with like these fucking reboots, dude?
Yeah.
You know, like when are you gonna just actually put your thinking caps on and think of something very creative?
They actually just announced that they're gonna be doing like a Hollywood version of Martyrs, which is a French horror film that just came out, a couple years back.
Movie too.
And it's supposed to be, I bought it. I haven't watched it, but it's supposed to be one of the most like intense horror films ever.
It's wild, dude.
And now you're going to get a Hollywood version of it, which is going to be watered down.
Yep.
Let's play it safe, guys, because it's America, so we can't release anything too, offensive. And it's going to completely ruin the whole idea the Martyrs original movie had in the first place. So.
And the biggest problem with these reboots and remakes and all this crap, and we can save this for another podcast, maybe do like a full discussion on this at some point, but a big thing with this is they can make these horror films for such a low budget. I mean, $10 million or less. Yeah. And they're making 1,000% plus in the box office off these. They make a movie for $10 million. It makes $100 million domestic. You got a hit, dude, and they'll just keep pumping them out. You don't have to get A-list actors with $150 million budgets to front these horror films. Like you can do it on minimal shoestring budgets, and they make a shitload of money in the end.
Absolutely. I mean, regardless, even like if it, considering it could be a flop or not, even the flops make really good money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, they're coming out with another Friday the 13th film.
Are you serious? Oh my God.
This year.
Yeah, that's what we talked about.
We just had a Friday the 13th, a couple years ago, and it's just, I don't know, it's getting ridiculous. It's like, can you guys come up with an original horror like story? Just anything. Just give me something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's just the money behind this that they're making. That's the problem.
It.
If we want more original horror films, to all of you, stop going to the theater. Stop going to the theater.
Support independent horror.
If you stop going to the theater, we won't get any more of these remakes. Yeah. That's why they're going to do it, though. Because people will keep paying the ticket price.
Yep.
I'm done going to see these fucking movies. I want to see good original horror, man. Cabin in the Woods was awesome, man. The Conjuring. Simple movie, but crushed it. Just crushed it.
Absolutely.
Had an Exorcist feel, but it did it very well.
Yeah, so hell yeah, man. Zoolander 2 is on the way. I have never seen Zoolander, so...
Yeah, I don't know.
Take it away, John.
I guess I'm the only person here who's seen Zoolander. It's probably my favorite Ben Stiller movie aside from Heavyweights.
Well, damn.
I think Ben Stiller, I don't know, I don't really like any of his other movies that much. Like, he has good parts. I thought he was good in Dodgeball. On his parts where he can be just a really goofy guy, I think he's awesome. But then in the parts where he tries to be like that serious, like, romantic comedy guy, I think he sucks.
Yeah.
So when they let him have his, like, just give him whatever he wants to do, make him, really funny or outlandish or whatever, he does really well. And in this movie, he plays a male model, and the whole movie is about male modeling. And it basically kind of just shows how stupid they all are.
Yeah,
but it's hilarious.
All animated characters and stuff.
Yeah, like, for example, he's known for his looks. And each magazine, he has a different look, and one of them's called Blue Steel, one of them's called Magnum, but they're all like, it's all the same look, and he doesn't even notice, but he gives the exact same look in every single one, but he like has, for some reason, he calls them different things, and then like
it's like that shit in 10 Things I Hate About You, dude. When he's posing, he's just like, what pose do you think? It's like the same damn thing.
It's exactly the same, and then he competes against Owen Wilson's character who plays Hansel, which is another male model. And like one of the parts, real quick, is like a battle between them, but it's like a walk-off contest, like who can do the runway the best.
Yeah.
But it's like David Bowie is like the judge.
Like he's in the movie. David Bowie?
Yeah. David Bowie comes out of nowhere. And then, like, they're arguing. Ben Stiller and Owen Wilson are arguing, and then all of a sudden, Billy Zane comes out of nowhere. And he just...
The Phantom!
Yeah, dude. He just stands behind Ben Stiller, dude. He's got, like, a shaved head, and he's just like... Like, just gives this menacing look behind Ben Stiller, like, don't fuck with me, I'm Billy Zane. It's just like, okay.
I survived Titanic.
Yeah. Anyway, I think
that's awesome.
If they do it right, it could be funny. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with Anchorman 2 compared to Anchorman 1.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been impressed with these sequels to really great comedies. We'll see. If they do it like they did the first one, it'll kill.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. Cool. Well, we got a trailer for Straight Outta Compton. I hate rap, and this trailer really intrigued me. Yeah. I think it looks like a pretty killer film, actually.
I'm super fucking excited for this. Yeah. It's, NWA is like one of my favorite rap groups of all time. I mean, aside from the music, just like their hand in politics and like kind of changing the social culture from the past 20 years and kind of paving the way for, you know, all sorts of social change. Like, this movie's gonna be awesome. I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, you know that too, so I never listened to it. So this is all I know about is from this trailer.
Honestly, I don't know jack shit about them. All I know is that one song. I like it. It's got cool beats. It's total like anti-cops, you know, like that fucking Rodney King era. And
it's similar to like, you know, back when Marilyn Manson was at his prime. Everyone was hating Marilyn Manson, blaming Marilyn Manson for all of these bad things. You know what I mean? And Marilyn Manson was kind of, you know, putting out music that's kind of a product of his environment. You know, he's this young white suburban kid, and he's not satisfied with the place he's in, so he's kind of writing these shock rock songs, and it's kind of freaking everybody out that they don't want to face the truth about, you know, suburbia in America. With NWA, they were putting out music, and it could have been offensive. They were talking about killing cops and stuff, but that was kind of the environment they grew up in. You know, they grew up having to walk to school every day and get, you know, searched by a police officer or get beaten down by a gang member or something like that. So it's really just they really came out and said, you know what, this is the life we live, and a bunch of people hated them for it, but, you know, it was more so that they didn't want to face the reality. Like, this is how young black kids live in, you know, inner cities.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be a killer movie. You know, like 8 Mile. I thought 8 Mile was phenomenal. You know,
that was a really good
at
movie.
showing that kind of a culture, but
really
that kind of a reality of what life is like.
Yeah.
So I think NWA, you know, Straight Outta Compton is gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah, man. Well, could we all agree the guy that they got for Ice Cube
Dude,
is like dead on?
It looks just like him. I was
crazy, man.
Oh,
I seriously thought, I was like, wait a minute, is this like footage from like the 90s or something?
Dude,
yeah,
he is like
that's how good. Like the cop cars, like the LA, Los Angeles like cop cars were like the 90s. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm excited for it. Like, I think it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks came out and spoke. You know, everybody's been talking about Spaceballs 2 forever, but he straight up came out and said, like, yeah, like, I'm working on a script. I want to do it.
Hell yeah.
So does this happen? Do you think this happens, or is this all hogwash?
I saw Spaceballs 1 like 18 years ago, and I don't remember anything from it.
I don't know. It's
a killer film, dude.
It's probably like
awesome.
one of my favorite parody movies ever. I think Mel Brooks is like, I mean, his prime was like way back in the 80s, you know? Like, you got Blazing Saddles, you got To Be or Not to Be, History of the World, Spaceballs. Like, he killed it. And I don't know what he's done as of late. I think the last movie I saw from him was Dracula, Dead and Loving It.
Yeah.
Which I thought was awesome.
It was so stupid funny.
It was just stupid funny. I don't know,
Leslie
man.
Nielsen, man.
I would love to see a
away,
Spaceballs 2. Yeah. I would love to see a Spaceballs 2, but I don't know, man. I don't know if people today would even like, the youth of today would not understand it. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm worried about. It's like, where do you go with it now? It's like Star Wars it's revitalized again. But if you're working on a script now, we don't have this new trilogy. Like, you could probably go in and like really do a good work on the prequels. But like, are we almost too far past the prequels? I mean, we're talking 10 years ago almost when Revenge of the Sith came out. Mm-hmm. Like, we're almost too far past the prequels, or I think people are kind of done with that now, where it's not going to be as humorous. So that's kind of what I'm wondering. Like, where do you go from it from here? Is it still Star Wars related, or you just continue with the characters you created and just you go your own route? You know.
Well, I think
who knows?
I think the humor of like the youth has changed so much. Like, when we were younger, Scary Movie 1 and 2, I thought were hilarious.
Oh yeah,
and then you go to
suck now.
Scary Movie 3 through 5 or 6 are awful. You know, the humor changed so much, but like 3 through 6 are just as appealing to youth now as 1 and 2 were to like us.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So that's what I'm kind of worried about, is because like when I was younger, you had, you know, Not Another Teen Movie and those kind of parody movies, which I thought were awesome. But now you have all these really crappy ones that are super watered down, but the kids still love it. You know, I've still heard plenty of kids love those movies today, even
like
though
Meet
I
the
think
Spartans and all that.
Yeah,
it's
so
awful.
I'm worried that like the youth of today is not going to understand Mel Brooks' humor.
Yeah, it's a good point. That's a really good point.
It's different.
I have nothing to say to it, dude. I agree. I mean.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. I agree.
We're gonna watch Spaceballs again soon with Phone.
Yeah, sure. I'll probably. I wonder if I'll even find it funny, dude. You know, like just because I haven't seen it, so it's like almost like You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what you just said, kind of like.
Well, a good thing that helps make that movie so much is the characters. Like John Candy, man, is like funnier than hell in that movie. But I mean, John Candy's not around anymore, so like
Uncle Buck or whatever.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. But like we're not gonna have the character of Barf anymore. And like he was one of the pivotal points. You know what I mean? Like I'm sure Bill Pullman, what the hell is he doing? I'm sure he'd have no problem coming
Independence
back.
Day 2.
But yeah, right. I'm a retired president.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into my plane.
That is confirmed, right?
Independence Day 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman? Not Will Smith though.
Yeah, he's not doing it. Which is crazy. They wrote
because my son's not in it.
They were working. This ain't After Earth 2. They were working on 2 scripts. They were doing a script including Will Smith and another one without him, just preparing. Like, can you believe that? Can you believe that?
Wow.
But fuck Will Smith, man.
Yeah,
like that movie created his career. Like, if you're not gonna come, like, we're too good for that now. What are you doing lately?
Yeah.
Nothing.
You know what? All I care,
Men in Black 25.
Yeah.
just give me a cool fucking plot and Jeff Goldblum.
Yep.
And I'll be more than happy.
As far as I'm concerned, Jeff Goldblum's supposed to be in it.
Yep.
And I don't see why the hell
that's
not.
That's all I care about is Jeff Goldblum, man.
Yeah.
But all right, here's the biggest news. Probably the biggest news we're gonna get all year by a landslide. Spider-Man has come home to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep. This is a big moment, man. Cause
I heard that Marvel didn't pay anything for this deal. Like,
really?
I heard like they didn't. Something weird. It was like an agreement, you know, like some sort of. So I guess like the new Spider-Man standalone film or whatever, like the actors that they're searching out, which I guess they've already found like names like for who to play Peter Parker.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have right now. They have Dylan O'Brien and Logan Lerman are like kind of the front runners for the role.
I like Logan Lerman too. I'd be totally down with Logan Lerman playing Spider-Man. I think he's got kind of that dorky look to it.
Yeah.
Like Andrew Garfield, I didn't care for him at all. I know a lot of people say, "Well, I love him as Peter Parker." It's like, dude, he's such a pretty boy and he's tall.
Yeah.
Like he's too tall and lengthy. Like Tobey Maguire looked good in the suit because he was like a short, skinny guy. Like Spider-Man's not like this tall, lengthy guy. Like it didn't look right. It never translated to me on the screen with.
And he was kind of like this hipster like kid, you know?
Yeah.
Like if he was at my high school, he would be cool. He wouldn't be picked on, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you need a fucking nerd, like a real nerd who's gonna get his ass kicked, like not some pretty boy skateboarder who's like, you know, a genius or something. Like make him like a real nerd. Like Tobey Maguire. Say what you want. I thought he did a pretty good like Peter Parker.
I think he did.
I loved him.
And he had the really funny Spider-Man, you know, humor to it and things of that nature. I mean, I don't know. I don't know anything about either one of these 2 actors that are being eyed for it, but I mean, I think anything would be better than Andrew Garfield. And
yeah, I didn't care for it at all.
And I'm really glad that they're going to kind of push back the Sinister Six because, like, after Spider-Man 2 and the villains in that movie, I was kind of like, I don't know if I trust them, like, fucking with any more villains, you know?
Well, that's a good question now with the Sinister Six movie because of this, is because that film was branching off of Amazing Spider-Man 2. Like, those movies are gone now. Like, those don't exist. So, like, this new Spider-Man movie, they're relaunching it again.
I keep thinking
you know
of,
what I mean?
that 10-second spot of Rhino.
Oh, my God.
It's, like, forever gone.
And the last scene of the movie was the last scene of all the trailers. It was just like, what?
Yeah.
But, like, what are they going to do with that movie now? Like, are they still going to even do it, do you think? Because that was all set up based on the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. So if they do that, they're going to have to recast everybody. Like, they can't get this continuity shit with, like, well, Amazing Spider-Man, like, isn't real, but we're going to use the same actors. But here's a new Spider-Man for the MCU, but we share the rights with him, but we're still keeping our characters. Like, they can't. There's no way Marvel would have got themselves into something like that. I don't think that would have happened.
It depends on all the success going forward. Like, if the success going forward is just bananas, then scrap that shit, dude. Like, it's
they're gonna make bank, dude. Like,
I think they're gonna.
Sony needed to do this. Like, Spider-Man's their cash cow. Like, if they didn't do this with Marvel to like dip their hands into this, like they were done. Like, so this was a desperate move by Sony, and I don't think Marvel and Kevin Feige and everybody involved in this would have jumped into anything like this without knowing that they've got the control. Like, I know Sony still owns the character, and there's kind of like the shared thing, but Marvel's not going to jump into this. Like, they got their whole universe. They don't need Spider-Man.
Right.
They did this strictly for fanfare.
And that's the thing is, like, I'm kind of concerned, but I'm not.
Absolutely.
Because, like, prior to Spider-Man getting thrown in the mix, you had a very nice, balanced Marvel universe.
Yeah.
You know, you had each superhero had their personalities, and you kind of got them, like, you could take your sides on them. But throwing Spider-Man in there, it almost gives the possibility of like an imbalance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it could just throw everything into a mix. So I don't know if they're going to want to use Spider-Man going forward after the Civil War. You know, like, and that's what I'm wondering is if they're going to actually be doing this kind of joint thing into Infinity War. You know, or if they're just going to say, okay, Spidey's going to be in Civil War because he's part of the comic book. And then Sony gets to make more Spider-Man movies, you know?
Yeah, well, like, I think the idea here, what they're going with is, so it's rumored Spider-Man will be in Civil War. I think the film's kind of pushing along, but they haven't started filming yet. I think the whole idea of bringing Black Panther into that movie was to substitute for Spider-Man.
Okay.
Like, I think Black Panther is like, hey, we're going to introduce him here because he's going to be that guy who Spider-Man was in Civil War.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? Can they shake it up a little bit? Are they going to, like, cut Black Panther down in the movie to get Spider-Man, like, pushed in there a little bit? You know, we'll see. But I think, you know, if you're going to introduce Spider-Man, he's going to get a solo movie and stuff. They got to push him forward. And I think the idea is that Sony will still do their own movies. So maybe they do go do Sinister Six still with new actors, the Venom movie, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the thing that I guess doesn't really concern me so much, but really intrigues me with this whole thing is we've got this whole Marvel Cinematic Universe that's already created right now. Mm-hmm. Now you're gonna, I know there's, you know, you still got Ant-Man, so it's like they're still introducing new characters, and it's gonna be like, well, where were you guys then? But
right.
Spider-Man, you can't have Spider-Man be an older character. Like we're gonna have to get the origins again to some extent, and I don't want to see it in a movie. Just give us like a quick 5-minute thing like they did in the Incredible Hulk.
Exactly.
Quick relapse. All right, Spider-Man's here now.
Yeah.
Because they can't just be like, well, where were you when New York was getting destroyed? Like he's gonna have to be like created post Avengers.
Yeah.
Like there's no way that they can. You know what I mean? It's
Absolutely.
a huge mess that could be
like,
a shitstorm if they don't do it right.
He was Peter Parker hiding in Uncle Ben's house apartment when New York was getting fucked up or some shit.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Like, oh, I'm sorry, I had to go deliver pizzas. Like,
yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
no,
they can't
I
have him
agree.
be around. So that's what concerns me. It's like the only thing that made me a little iffy is like, are we too far into the MCU right now? We're introducing such a huge character like this is almost gonna like fuck it up a little bit.
Yeah, you got to.
You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. It's very sensitive material.
Yeah,
that's for sure. Like you got to be very careful how you introduce someone like that. You just can't just. Yeah, I agree. Like you just can't fucking do that.
Yeah, it's Spider-Man's the shit, man. Like he's my favorite Marvel character, like always has been, and like I can't wait to see how they're gonna do all this stuff. Like it's pivotal.
I almost forgot. Hugh Jackman was talking about how he wants to. He expressed his opinion about like, I wonder if they're gonna throw Wolverine into you know what I'm saying? Like throw Wolverine into this now, and obviously Hugh Jackman is fucking Wolverine. Like no one else can replace him. You know what I'm saying? Plus the guy works out like a motherfucker, dude. Like he's ripped. Like, he is it, dude. Like he's him.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like that'd be awesome. That'd be so cool. Like having like all those actors like all lined up like facing Thanos.
It would be interesting to see if like Fox could cut a deal because like
that would be crazy.
Sony,
you're talking three companies that have to work together. That'd be unbelievable.
Like I understand why Sony did it because Sony's kind of in hot water. You know, their whole I guess franchise with Spider-Man is kind of going down the shitter. Fox is like doing really good.
Yeah, they're making bank off X-Men.
They got X-Men and it's a cash cow. You know, Days of Future Past was one of the highest grossing films last year. You know, and now they got the Fantastic Four, which is getting a lot of hype. Like, I don't think they're going to release that very quickly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because,
I agree.
Because any kind of deal they make with Marvel, they're going to have to share the goodies. You know, they're going to have to share the profits, and I don't think they want to do that. I think they can bust out plenty more X-Men without it.
Yeah, and they're making bank. Like, they're not making as good of money as Marvel is, but they're doing more than enough in their own right. Like, you're not going to get 2 years or 2 movies a year from Fox with X-Men, but they're going to deliver kick-ass films. Like, First Class was amazing. Days of Future Past was amazing. Apocalypse is definitely going to be amazing. There's no ifs, ands, and about it. Yep. You know, now we got a new Wolverine movie that's coming, which people get tired of that character. I'm not. Like, I love Hugh Jackman in the role. Like, I don't think they've given us a solid Wolverine movie yet. Like, the Wolverine was okay. We're all still craving that kick-ass Wolverine movie. So until we get that, like, nobody's tired of X-Men. Like, it's been going on forever. I think 2001 was when the first X-Men came out.
Yeah. I mean,
it's insane.
I want to see Wolverine really badly in an Avengers movie because I think his character is very pivotal in at least the comic book lore of the battles with Thanos.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Avengers,
Infinity Gauntlet,
Infinity Gauntlet. He's a big part of it.
Yeah, which would be killer to have.
But I agree. I want to have a Wolverine movie where they just get it right, like get the whole damn thing right. Because every movie they've gotten little bits and pieces of it right, but they haven't meshed it together.
Yeah.
Like I mean, X1 and X2 I thought were kick ass, and then the first Origin Wolverine movie, like. They got Wolverine, okay, he was good, and then they got Ryan Reynolds, which was a great Deadpool, before they turned him into Baraka from Mortal Kombat, like with like fucking laser eyes.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then the guy who played Sabretooth. I thought,
oh god, yeah, Liev Schreiber.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job as Sabretooth.
That guy's a killer actor, man.
He was great, but like the movie was so lacking. You know what I mean? And it's just like, damn, you get these characters that are awesome.
The two explosions, the helicopter.
Oh
blew
my
up
god,
and then it blew
yeah.
up again.
He fucking
god,
like,
dude, that was the dumbest.
Ugh.
How do you overlook that in a script, dude? The helicopter's gonna crash, it's gonna blow up. Then we're gonna make Wolverine look like a badass and light a little spark that's gonna make the helicopter blow up again. Like what? Hey, Yuto! Give me 2.
I have something to top that though, dude. Expendables 3, man. Fucking stay away from that god awful piece of shit, dude.
I haven't seen it yet, so I will stay away.
I will never.
I'll give you. I know we got to move forward real quick. Any scene, fucking Stallone, man. There's a chopper. Like, come on, fucking what's his name, Barney. Come on, like, come on. He's on the rooftop, dude. And, like, whole building is like coming down.
Oh, he's like running,
up.
dude.
He's running on the roof, dude, and it's like a CGI shit show. And he's running on the roof, and by the time he gets to the helicopter right here. You know, it's like, okay, he's gonna jump, and then they cut the scene, and then they go back, and he's still like running up the roof. It's like, wait, what?
Doing that weird Arnold run, or
Yeah.
the Stallone run's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
however he does
with his
it.
fucking old man titties, like
Yeah, they make it look like the runway's like from like a quarter mile.
Yeah.
It's just like
like he gets to the edge, and then there's a cutscene, and he's like 30 feet from the edge.
oh my god, like Fast and Furious 6 with like a 40-mile like airport run.
Yeah,
It just keeps
exactly.
going and going and going and going.
biggest
It's like,
fucking airport I've ever seen.
I know, dude. Like, we just went across countries.
All right.
So yeah, back to this MCU. So, this is shaking up the entire MCU now, because now you got to bring Spider-Man in, you got to accommodate for the solo movie, and now films are getting pushed back. So Thor's getting pushed back, Captain Marvel's getting pushed back, and the one that I found the most interesting is Inhumans was sandwiched between Infinity War 1 and 2, which made you think they're going to play into Infinity War 2 somehow.
Of
now
course.
that movie got pushed out.
What?
So that's coming out after Infinity War 2 now.
Really?
So
That's weird, because the Inhumans are like a major part of like the galactic like universe of like Marvel.
That's
you
what's
know?
really
Adam
interesting.
Warlock and all like
Yeah.
those guys, yeah.
I mean, Thanos' son is an Inhuman. You know what I mean? Like, that's weird to me, considering
they probably got one more thing up their sleeve.
because
It's probably
Black,
like,
you got Black Bolt. You know,
Yeah, like these
you
are all
have to
pivotal
incorporate
characters that
these
you have to
guys.
bring into this.
How are you gonna why would you bring them in after the Infinity War, after Thanos is defeated, unless you're gonna bring in like Galactus or like a big ancient warrior character from space,
like a celestial being
Yeah.
or something.
like a celestial being,
And that's
or maybe
what's really intriguing about that. Like,
They probably got like a final fucking movie, and they're gonna do it like that. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know.
yeah, I'm
I
just
don't
wondering
know.
how they're gonna do it. Unless like everybody's speaking too soon and all this stuff is kind of like climbing out of the woodworks too fast, and like they're gonna make it melt. I mean, there's no reason that they can't do 3 movies in a year. You know what I
Right.
mean? You can push Thor back if you want to give Spider-Man like that highlighted summer blockbuster, release date, because Thor came out, Thor 2, The Dark World, I think that was a November release.
Yeah,
so it's
it
like
was.
you can push Thor back. Like, you already got you guys that are gonna make money. So if you want to put Spider-Man up front and center, that's fine. But I thought that was interesting. If they happen to push the Inhumans out of being sandwiched between those movies.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
interesting. I don't know what, unless they're gonna bring the Inhumans in to the Infinity Wars and introduce them in the Infinity Wars, and then just give them a standalone film.
Yeah, post that.
Post that, like how Guardians of the Galaxy may or may not be related to anything else.
Right,
You
which
know
would
what I
work
mean?
too.
They would just bring the Inhumans in the first Infinity War, have them do their part, and then this would just be a separate like occasion. I don't know. I would rather them come in earlier.
Yeah,
I'd
so
rather
it's
like
really
like
interesting.
more of an origin story for them, so people can be like, oh, this is who the Inhumans are. They're from these various places around the galaxy. Blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
definitely.
I just want a Black Panther film, man.
Yeah.
I just want to see him
Dude.
in action.
Dude,
I'm telling you, man, Chadwick Boseman. Did you guys see 42 yet? Have you guys seen that?
no.
Dude, all right, so it's Chadwick Boseman and Harrison Ford in there, but he
Right.
crushes it, man. I'm telling you, like, that kid's got some acting chops. So it's not just going to be like superhero type film, dude. Like I think
that'll
Chadwick
be like
Boseman
a
to Black
Batman,
Panther, exactly. And I think he's gonna.
What did you say?
Like a Batman, like a Dark Knight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and
like
I think his character,
serious...
it's gonna be just like Tony Stark to Iron Man, dude. Like I think Chadwick Boseman is gonna like really own that role where it's just like, dude, like there is no other that can do this. Like I think he's gonna get immediately attached into that.
Excited.
That's what we need, man. We need more like Marvel characters that it's like that's them. You know what I'm saying? Like Chris Evans is Captain America, and like
yeah, he is.
I mean, I guess they're gonna kill him off, and then Bucky Barnes will take his place or something. But
Yeah,
like,
it's definitely gonna happen.
But it's like, damn, dude, I want fucking Chris Evans, man. I want him to be Captain America. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is Captain, dude. He is Cap. You know.
Yeah, so all this stuff like in the MCU, it's crazy. Like it's everything changes. You know, they must have had a contingency plan for this, expecting like, all right, if we get Spider-Man, we've got this other route where we can still do what we want to do, but make room for it.
Why now though? Why ask Sony now? I mean, I'm sure they've been asking them for a while, but it's like, why seal the deal now? Why not 5 years ago and you could plan ahead of this shit? It's like in the midst of like all this movie planning, right before Ultron. I mean, it's like. It's kind of weird. The timing is just awkward.
Well, the big thing is Sony, man. Like, they created their own universe.
Yeah.
They were like, here's Amazing Spider-Man. And they came out, as soon as Amazing Spider-Man 2 is coming, they're like, boom, we're going to get a Venom movie. We're going to get Sinister Six, Amazing Spider-Man 3, Amazing Spider-Man 4. And they were just like, we're going to plan out our own universe for Spider-Man. Yeah. And it flopped.
And then also, I think their CEO or someone up really high recently stepped down. Recently, like within the last couple weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so it could have been like
Sony's
a hand with that. Like their whole business plan is just fucked. Yeah. Especially with all those emails coming out, like the hacks and stuff like that.
That was a mess.
Like their entire just world is completely
Adam
messed
Sandler is like a horrible fucking person to work with.
Yeah, of course he is, man. He is such a piece of shit. Like he goes out and makes these shit movives, dude, and like all these people still go out to see him, dude. He's making millions and millions of dollars. All he's doing is these Hoshwag bullshit scripts, dude. Where like him and a bunch of his friends go on a fucking vacation for like a month to go film some shit, dude. Put out some bullshit, stamp it with his fucking name, and it makes a bunch of money, dude.
Yeah.
Happy Madison on there.
God, dude.
Yeah, let's get all the washed up SNL actors we can.
Yeah,
and just make like this PG bullshit shit show.
Yeah,
so you guys heard it here first.
Adam Sandler.
Fuck Adam Sandler.
Yeah, forget all that. So one more thing that I wanted to say on this MCU thing before we move on. Yeah, fuck him. So, all right. So we need to get a proper Venom. Oof. Do you think there's a chance at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 we can get a post-credit scene, since it's all these intergalactic worlds and stuff now, where they're gonna show
Venom
something with Venom? Anybody, any of these symbiotes that come from other planets. Could you imagine if at the end of Guardians, dude, like it was a tie-in to bring Venom? Because you'd have to introduce them somehow, and now we got these other properties that are out there in space.
I think it would be cool to really take the whole Secret War aspect of it.
Oh, that'd be so
because that's
killer,
where the symbiote comes from. Like from the Secret Wars, like Spider-Man, leaves Earth and he goes to fight in the Secret Wars, and he gets the black goo on him. And it turns him into Venom, And then he comes back, and he's the Black Spider-Man, and it kind of turns him into a fuckboy. So he says "fuck you," and then that's when Eddie Brock takes over the suit.
Yeah,
like 3.
So like,
but how cool would that be?
I think they would do something like that. That would be really cool to have like Guardians of the Galaxy 2, have like some kind of a bridge to like the Secret Wars, or like just the origin of like the Venom, goo. You know what I mean?
Introduce it, like they did with Thanos.
Show where it came from and show it like doing something. Yeah, like Thanos.
Like they brought Thanos in real subtly, and it's like cool. Like he's not part of this movie, but we know we're gonna get a lot more of him.
Right.
If they could do something subtle like that to like introduce Venom a little bit and just be like, all right, it's just kind of intertwined here, but like it's setting something else up. I think that's a golden opportunity to bring him in and get a killer incarnation of Venom.
They need to give a really good Venom though, because that Venom in Spider-Man 3 was weak as fuck.
Yeah,
you need someone who's actually big, like a guy who's actually like worked out. He's like a powerlifter.
Yeah, I don't want
fucking what's his name from Game of Thrones?
Mountain?
The Mountain.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, dude! Like that guy, he can act and he's a strong man, dude.
Yeah, give me like I don't know. I just because Venom.
So you don't have to do all CGI shit show.
Exactly. And then Venom, he needs to be stronger. Like in every single comic book, Venom is 10 times stronger than Spider-Man ever was. And the only reason Spider-Man wins is because he's smart. And like they didn't really show that in Spider-Man 3. They were just like they were almost like equals. of power, and it's like
he did the fucking stupid whatever. I don't even know.
I give props to Sam Raimi for that, though, because that was Sam Raimi basically just sticking the middle finger to Sony. Because, like, he had his plan, dude, and, like, they were just like, nope, this is how it's going to happen. So I'm like, you know what, Sam, cool, dude. And that's why that's exactly why the Amazing Spider-Man movies fail, dude, because they rushed the shit out of it. They edited it a bunch down to where, like, all these things stopped making sense. It was like, wait a minute, what the hell happened to this character? Where's this scene? And then they showed, some guy did a supercut of the Amazing Spider-Man from all the footage they released, created like a 25-minute video that pretty much like depicted the movie, and Sony like took it down everywhere before the movie because they were like, well, you're giving away the movie. It's like, you assholes released all of this.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
Like, I can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Sony's just a mess, man. Like they need to like loosen up the reins and like let people come in and make quality films instead of trying to like hover over and be like, no, this is what you're gonna do.
They really need to let more creative genius flow. You know, like those. Yeah. I don't know. I think that if they have any kind of hand in Spider-Man in Marvel, like it's gonna be kind of a shit show. You know what I mean? Like they need to just kind of say, here's our rights to Spider-Man. We're giving them to you.
Yeah.
And let Marvel just do it, because Marvel gives so much creative control to their directors, to their producers. Like, I mean, look at Joss Whedon and the amazing things he's done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know, he brought that shit to life, dude.
Like, they were basically like, hey, Joss Whedon,
absolutely.
Here is everything on the table. It's all in your control. You know, Marvel was just like, we're stepping back and letting you do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly.
And he created...
Same thing with James Gunn and Guardians.
Some of the greatest shit. Yeah.
Guardians. You look at that movie, man, like, it's a Marvel movie, but like that's a James Gunn movie.
Yeah.
Like, when you watch that movie, like, James Gunn, it's all James Gunn. You can tell by every little line of dialogue, the quick wit humor, the way that he incorporates just like little cuss words here and there just to add to it. Like, dude, like James Gunn had his hands all over that. That's why Marvel's succeeding, because they pull off a little bit when they need to. They're jumping in when they need to do it. And that's why Sony made this deal.
They trust.
Because Sony's done.
They trust in their staff, man.
Absolutely.
When you put trust in your staff, then the staff then, like, you know, like has a sense of, you know what I mean? Like a better, not like their fucking boss is like overlooking them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
they have a sense of freedom. Like they sense of freedom. They can breathe. Yeah. They don't have someone over their shoulder telling them what to do. They trust in their employees.
Yeah. And that's why Marvel did this good, because Sony owns Spider-Man, but Marvel's controlling everything.
Yeah.
They may own the character, but Marvel's running the show.
Real quick, I know we got to move on, but when Amazing Spider-Man, the reboot, got announced and they showed that first trailer, I was like, oh my God, dude, like, no, just stop. I remember I told you guys how pissed I was. I was like, dude, I'm so over fucking Spider-Man. I'm done. Like, I'm over it. Like, I'm over Spider-Man. I saw both of them. I didn't like any of them. Like, I like the love story with 2 a little bit, but then spoiler, she fucking dies. But who cares? The shit fucking movie sucks anyways. So, I mean, I'm kind of glad that they're done. I'm glad that like you did your fucking flop. It failed. Now step aside.
Yeah, get the hell out of here. Because I don't want to see any more of your movies.
Yeah.
One of the dumbest things I've seen in any movie in my entire life was in The Amazing Spider-Man. Like, the whole idea of Peter Parker becoming Spider-Man is like avenging his uncle's death. And just like he goes on that rampage and then he has to collect himself and realize, like, yeah, dude, with great power comes great responsibility. It's the whole lesson to use his power for good.
Right.
And the whole montage sequence in that movie, he's hunting for, like, you know, Uncle Ben's killer and never finds him. It's like a 15-minute scene where he's looking for everybody, trying to find that damn tattoo mark or whatever.
Yeah.
Finds nobody, and then it just moves on. It's like,
it's like
what
forget
the fuck was the
about
point of this whole segment in the movie? Why was this here?
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, dude, that movie. I would wipe my ass with it if it was toilet paper. Moving on! Yeah. All right.
Testify!
All right, so we got to touch base on this because this was one of the coolest things ever. So Star Wars Celebration Anaheim.
Yep. Oh, God, here we go. Here we go.
We're all going, and we've been trolling them ridiculous amounts.
Yeah.
And we got resolution. Unbelievable, man. Power to the people.
Yeah, fuck yeah, dude.
Okay.
Oh, my
Rodney
God.
King, baby.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so we've like gone to the last 2 conventions in Orlando, Florida. And this most recent one.
Story time with John, dude.
Yeah, story time with me, dude. Well, I gotta let the fucking people know. But
Millions
and millions,
or vodka, or tequila, or whiskey.
What? So we've been to the last 2 of these in America, and this most recent one, as of late, it's 2 months coming up to the convention, and they haven't announced jack shit. They announced like Freddie Prinze Jr. is going to be there. Like, cool,
He's all that.
When I was 15, I would be happy, but now I'm like, fuck you. You're still better looking than me. And then they're going to show episode 4 in Navajo. Like, who the fuck cares? I don't know. Maybe there's a lot more people who speak Navajo than I do, but
there'll be people who speak Navajo that'll be like, that's awesome, and then there's gonna be like all these people are gonna be like, I'm just gonna go watch it just to watch it. It's
exactly.
Like, you know what? I'd rather see like another panel with somebody, or something like more exciting than watching this movie again.
That's
like
what I'm
we've
saying.
seen the movie a million times. You don't need to screen it.
Like put it in like a room down the hall, so people can go and come as they want. Don't make it like a main event.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? And they're gonna do episode 3 in 3D, which was like supposed to happen 2 years ago.
Yeah. Waited in line. Our last day of the celebration on Sunday. Wait in line for 6 hours to get into this auditorium, hoping for something amazing. What happens? They come out and they're like, we got a hype man, dude. How y'all doing out there? How y'all doing?
Wait. Before we even get to the hype man, we were fucking waiting in line and good wait line spots.
We were like 50th in line.
They
shoved us to the far right.
Yep.
So we're not even in good seats anymore. We get this like, they're all trying to hype up the crowd. People are excited. We're excited. We're already kind of like, what the hell's all this? Then they come out and they're like, yeah, guess what? Like, here's your exclusive. Here's some 3D glasses for you, and here's like a 5-minute montage of episode 2 and episode 3 because they're coming in 3D next year, or like by the end of this year, next year. It's like, oh, okay, like cool. We saw Phantom Menace. Like, cool. We'll go check these out. Guess what? Never released them.
Yeah.
Now they're saying, oh, here's our exclusive for Anaheim. We're going to screen Revenge of the Sith in 3D.
Yeah.
We waited 6 hours in line just to hear news it was going into the theater. It never happened, and now it's like it's big exclusive for this?
Totally fucking just went over Attack of the Clones' head.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like...
But, whoa. I mean, I don't know. I was just... It's such a letdown. It's such a letdown. Like, I don't care about Revenge of the Sith in 3D.
Yeah.
I mean,
I didn't
care about it 2 years ago when we were waiting in line. Like, it's like, we waited for all of this to find out about 3D shit, and then so you guys could say, our next celebration's in Germany, and I'll go out there and buy beer and brats for $10.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, with a band.
Yeah,
God
like,
damn it, man. That was
I don't
some
know.
BS.
Yeah, I think the whole point
of... the nerve that charge you. Go ahead.
Oh, no. Just the point of the convention, I feel, is like to have live action...
33 euros, please.
Have like live action panels and interviews and stuff with the actors. Like, I don't care about watching the damn movies.
Yeah.
I have the damn movies. I can go home and watch the damn movies. I don't want to watch the movies and waste an entire night at a convention.
Yeah, we just drove 2,100 miles to sit in an auditorium and watch Revenge of the Sith. Like,
exactly.
Or we just flew across the country for these other folks that are like coming from other countries.
Right.
There's people from all over the world are going to be there.
I don't need it. And it's a great thing to do if you want to put it down the hall in some random like room of the convention center. Great. Open it up for like 30 people to come in and watch it at a time and just run it all day long so people can keep coming in and do their thing.
Make it secondary, not a primary.
But don't make it like, oh my god, here's this special big announcement, 3D, the Revenge of the Sith. Yeah. No. And so we've been trolling the shit out of their Facebook, out of their Instagram account. We've emailed them. We've emailed Disney.
And not even to be dicks though. Just like,
no.
Like, we're concerned. Like, we've gone to these conventions. We spend a lot of money like buying these tickets to go. It's $135 for a 4-day pass, and then when we're there, we're swipe. I mean, we're just putting a lot of money into this. It costs a lot of money to go do this. So like,
gas,
we want more
tickets. Like, it's thousands of dollars worth of expenses for a week.
Yeah, and all we're asking for is like, listen, man, like, we're 8 weeks away from this. 8 weeks away. Like, there's more to do in Anaheim than just be at this convention. So like, A, we want to plan for other things that are going on out there that we can like plan a dinner or go out and do something else for a night.
Disneyland.
And B, like, we want to get ready. Like, give us something to be excited about. Like, we're driving out there and spending money. Give us a reason to feel like we're appreciated and why our money spending it's in good hands. You know what I mean?
Our emails weren't, like you said, our emails didn't make us look like a bunch of fucking dickheads. Like, our emails are pretty well thought out and like very, well written.
Absolutely, yeah.
We're 28-year-old nerds, dude, who are driving across the country. Like, we want a quality event.
Absolutely.
It's 8 weeks away. You all have not given us anything. Like, tell me why I should be spending money on this.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, because I would look on the Facebook pages, comments and posts, and people would be like, hey, I haven't bought an airline ticket yet because I don't know if this is worth it.
Yeah.
And the closer you get to like the day of flying when you buy your airline ticket, so if you buy a ticket to like fly out tomorrow, it's going to be hundreds of dollars more expensive than if you bought the ticket like 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And that's the problem is people are waiting because they don't know if they're going to get their money's worth out of this convention.
And then book a hotel.
Like they're going to be having to do this shit last minute, and then it's like the prices just jumped, hundreds of dollars. And it's just like, give me something, please.
And that's kind of the crap to it. It's like they released like the VIP packages last year, which we tried to get. But like they sell out in 30 seconds. I mean,
the servers crashed.
The servers crashed. Yeah, I clicked, the servers crashed, and it was it, dude. Like it was already too late. Right. But regardless, like you're putting it out that far in advance to have people spend thousands to be like, bought my Jedi Night Pass. I just booked my hotel. I got my flights booked. All this money a year in advance, and you were 8 weeks away, man. You guys have had 42, 44 weeks to put together shit
44 weeks
to get these people excited. You're 8 weeks away from this, and you want everybody to spend all their money, book your hotel, do all this, and like we have nothing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
You mentioned like you spent thousands of dollars, spent all this money you got, and they're getting so much money, dude. They're making they boast on their About Me page that they're like this and that, like we've made you could tell they're just a money pit, dude. Like they got their pockets are lined deep, dude.
Yeah.
And you mean to tell me like you can't conjure up some sort of creative idea or items or something to throw together in a poster tube or a box or a fucking loot crate box or something, dude, to give to people who camp out in line for a fucking more than 12 hours? Like, what the fuck kind of company are you?
That was one of the most disappointing things, because all three of us reached out to them because in Celebration 5, like we all got our poster tubes. We got exclusive things. We waited in line for ever, 12 hours plus. And like, we weren't expecting. It was our first year, and they're like, here, man, like, this is for camping out.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And you open it up, and it's like, dude. Yeah, shit yeah, dude. And, like, there's all sorts of cool stuff, dude. A poster, a couple little Lego guys. But then, like, the thing that was the badass thing to me, dude, was a simple pin, dude. That just said, I camped out for Celebration 5 with the logo on it. And it's just like, you know what, dude? Guess how many people got that pin? 50 people.
Yep.
And, like,
out of 35,000. Out of 35,000 people,
I cherish that pin, man. That's pretty cool. It's like this is kind of like a nice thing that represents the fact that like we slept on concrete and got bit by fucking fire ants for 12 hours. Like we did it. Like
it's true.
And then it's very true.
Celebration
and then the next
6,
year, nothing at all. And we talked to people in line, and they're like, "This is the first year we've never gotten anything."
Yeah, I remember that.
For camping out, and we're like,
that dude from Fire that we met, dude, the bald head dude. We're like, man, we got something every year. We've been doing this, man. Like,
I remember that guy. I remember that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and then when we so. Long story short, we finally started getting some emails back from Celebration. Actually got them on the phone, too. And one of their replies was, oh, well, we only give...
Disney, right? You talked to Disney? Or?
Yeah, well, they didn't really give me much. But more so with Celebration, they were basically like, listen, we only give stuff like exclusives to the front of the line people when we have it available.
Yeah, that's what they told you. That's what they told me.
Yeah. And it's like, what kind of shit is that? You are a $1 million company, multi-million-dollar company. You have to be able to afford the rent of these giant convention centers. You run New York Comic Con, C2E2, Star Wars Celebration Europe. Like you do all this big fucking stuff, and you can't give me a goddamn
clear response
little box of maybe $25 worth of exclusive cool shit. I don't give a shit what's in it.
Times 50 people, 30 people, fuck it.
Just invest a little bit into people that are sitting there busting their ass, dude. Like excited to go to this convention that you are promoting.
Spend $1,000, pay some dude to just walk around and collect some shit from the convention floor, put it in a poster tube, and give it to me for my troubles of waiting. Like the whole reason I waited was because I wanted to be the first person in there, the first group of people. And when you give like an exclusive to the people who stand in line first, it kind of makes them feel appreciated. Like we slept in line. All these motherfuckers didn't. They got here with their coffee and fucking donuts at 8 a.m. We've been out of here since 11 p.m.
Yeah, the night before. Yeah, I remember last time, Scotty. Remember, like we went to the hotel. We went and we were like, okay, we're gonna do whatever we did, like grab food or something, and this guy's like, well, I'm going to walk down there.
Yeah.
I was there at 8:30, dude.
Yeah. Scotty went down there like 4 hours before we did. And then we come up and he's chilling there like, talking to the people next to them.
We're friends with the fellow Chicagoan.
We were third in line.
Victor Figueroa. If you're watching, buddy, we'll see you soon.
I think we were third in line for that one.
Yeah, we were right there, dude.
Yeah, we were right at the front.
No, we were second in line.
Yeah.
Well, Scotty was second.
Our group was second in line.
There was like us with a couple others and stuff.
Yeah,
which is killer, dude.
I know we're running short on time, but I remember when we got inside the auditorium and we were at the very. We were like 45 minutes, half hour, 15 minutes out from just finally being let in, in the doors. Like we're already inside the building, but now getting inside the actual hallway. Yeah. I remember staff members, smiling, taking pictures, everyone taking pictures and stuff like that. And I remember staff member coming up to the people who were first in line, and they're like, "Hey, so did you guys get anything?"
Oh yeah, they did.
No. I remember
they
that.
Asked us, and we were like, "No," and they're like, "What?"
Even they were shocked.
Yeah, they
were like, "What?
What? Really?"
Yeah, and that's kind of it. Sucks,
that's what happens when you cut costs.
It's a nice little incentive.
You know what he did? He's like, "I'll be right back." I'll never forget. He goes, "I'll be right back," and he had some sort of some cards or some shit, like a deck of cards or some, and he gave it to he secretly gave it to the people in front of us, and he's just like, here.
It's probably just things off the showroom floor,
exactly.
Things, you know.
And I remember us were just like we turned around, we're just like, what the fuck is this shit? What the fuck?
Right.
I feel so disrespected. You know what
absolutely,
I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and it's dude, we're not veterans, man. We've been to 2 of them. I'm sure there's people that have been to all of them and stuff. But it's I'll tell you what, dude. We're in the first 5 people to get in there. When we've gone,
we're dedicated.
We're going hard, dude.
Yeah.
You go and you go hard. We don't sleep, man.
Right.
We're sleeping for 2 hours a night. Cause,
exactly. We want to be there.
Fun.
We want to show our dedication.
Fan. Yeah.
And after all the trouble we went through with all the contacting, and they never got back to us, they finally got back to us, and they basically said, well, we apologize for this delay, but trust us. You're going to be happy. We're going to give you an amazing celebration. We're going to give you something that competes with the other years, this and that. So it kind of got me a little hyped up. But then immediately after that, they fucking drop 3 big announcements, where they have Carrie Fisher.
Which is the day that we were all on. They're just listen, enough's enough. And then finally it's boom, here's announcements.
Yeah, Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, 3 big ones. Boom. And I can't help but think that we had something to do with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because we were the only people trolling this fucking Facebook page for days, especially that day when they made the announcement. We were posting on every damn wall post and every person's comment. We were replying and being give us our guests. We need announcements.
Why aren't you responding to my emails?
yeah. Why aren't you responding? I spoke to and that same day I spoke to 2 different people from Star Wars Celebration. One of them on the phone, one through email, and the person on the phone didn't help at all. She basically was just the reason why they wait so long to announce things is it's a marketing strategy because they hope that if they keep everybody in the dark, everyone will just buy 4-day passes. Yeah. And I'm just fuck that. That's such a bad plan because
it's a bittersweet.
No one wants to buy
strategy.
A 4-day pass if they don't know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. And I was talking to my girl, Kristen. You guys know Kristen, my girlfriend. I was talking to her about this the other day because I was like, dude, you're not going to believe this. I'm we were on the page and we actually, they announced shit right after we were kind of just listen, enough's enough type attitudes. And they finally announced stuff. And I was telling her, I was this marketing strategy of oh, we'll keep people in the dark until, this comes up. It's you know what? For shit like C2E2 or New York Comic-Con, maybe that works.
Right.
You're talking about Star Wars, okay? People are not going to come and be I'm just going to buy Saturday to meet Carrie Fisher on Saturday. This is all Star Wars. If people are coming, they're coming.
Right.
I'm not going to go buy a Saturday ticket, for Star Wars to go meet Carrie Fisher. I'll do that to meet Bruce Campbell's going to be at this convention just on Saturday. I'll buy just a Saturday ticket to just meet him.
Yep.
This is Star Wars, dude. People who are coming here are fucking dedicated people, man. They're not just going to come here and be well, I'll go for Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. C2E2 is mostly people from Chicago. New York Comic Con is mostly people from New York.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Wizard World Chicago is mostly people from Illinois. People are not flying from fucking Nevada to come to Chicago Wizard World. That's not happening. Star Wars Celebration, people are flying from all around the world because it's a one-time deal. It's not this
once
thing.
Every couple of years, a big celebration of fans of one particular property.
Yeah.
Wizard World is this and this and that and that and all these other things, and it's cool, man. Maybe I'll go on this day. This is everybody's getting together, dude. People of all walks of life. Us, dude, we don't make shitloads of money. We make enough to get by, but guess what? We're going to be standing in line next to a guy for 12 hours who probably makes $200,000.
Exactly.
And then we're going to be standing next to another guy who just flew in from Poland, dude, who's talking to us in a thick-ass accent you can barely understand.
Yep.
These people are from all walks of life, dude. Millionaires, the whole shebang, dude. And, like, for 4 days, like, we're all one.
Exactly. That's right. You're damn right.
It's just shocking because it's like a new location. It's a new convention. It's right next to Disney Resort. You got, you know, like the new movie coming out. It's like, why can't you, why don't you have your shit together? Like,
well, that's the other thing.
What the fuck's going on here?
That's the other thing. You know what? The thing that's going to put hook, line, and sinker in this shit, dude, is if they have their big thing and then they're going to announce, well, in Orlando, Celebration 7 in August.
Like, yeah, or something like something
like
stupid,
this is just
you know?
kind of like something to get by until this huge thing they're planning. Like, I'll
be so pissed off.
I don't even have words for what I would do. I would flip.
Oh my god.
I would be significantly.
I'd be like, I want my money back.
Yeah, you want to talk about the biggest diss and disrespecting people, dude, that like are giving you money. Mm-hmm. Like you don't bite the hand that feeds, man. Like you assholes can keep this running because us assholes are giving you money.
Yeah.
Like there needs to be a mutual respect here.
That. You don't bite the hand that feeds. I like that.
Yeah, dude. Like
no, it's true though. It's true.
Yeah, it's
like
damn true.
We're all gonna go to Anaheim and then watch. They say, "Oh, Celebration 7." You know, and that's where we're gonna like get all the Star Wars, you know, Force Awakens shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I expect Force Awakens shit at this one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Not 6 more months from now.
I want a Kylo Ren bus, dude, with that 3-bladed lightsaber. Mm-hmm. That 3-bladed lightsaber kicks ass.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So Star Wars Celebration, get your shit together. Give us some more announcements. We got 7 weeks starting Monday. So I'm prepared for weekly updates, and I hope that they deliver.
Yeah, and just like a final thing on here too, not to try to like get the last word in with all this. We've been ranting about this forever now, but like the thing is it's like I get it. If like you know how they responded to you, some of these things our hands are tied behind our backs. Like some things are out of our control. We can't announce certain people. Whatever. I get that. That makes sense. If you're contractually obligated, you know, to not do certain things, that's fine. But you tell me how the hell Celebration 5 and 6. You know, even though 6 was kind of a huge rehash, they still had a bunch of announcements before. They had the app out, like you said, where you can start planning your stuff. You're not tied so far back to where like you need to just like, well, here's this shitstorm in a couple of weeks.
Here's the problem: you know what I mean? They're going to release all this shit, and say they release some really cool events. Say they do like for $70 you can go to Disneyland for the night, like we did.
Yeah, we had planned months in advance.
Yeah. That was. We heard about that 6+ months in advance.
Same thing with Kevin Smith at 6.
Same with Kevin Smith.
Months in advance,
and all those tickets sold out immediately.
And that's the problem.
And they're going to announce this. They're going to announce this like 2-3 weeks before the convention, and people are going to be racing to get their tickets. It's going to sell out, but it's going to be a lot of people. It's going to throw them off guard, because like who's expecting all these giant announcements to happen like 2 weeks before the convention?
Yeah, like you need to sprinkle it out, dude. Like. You're frustrating the people that already put the money into it, and now people that want to put the money into it are kind of stepping back a little bit because they don't know. And by the time they want to go do it, they might not have a chance to get a hotel then. Like, it might just be wash.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
There's something really going on.
So, yeah, there's one of two things. Like, they either 100% do not have their shit together, or they're going to drop some bombs that are just to make everybody just fucking feel like a virgin again. And
Harrison Ford.
Yeah, it better be the latter.
Give me Harrison Ford. Give me.
You put Harrison Ford out there, I retract everything I just said.
Or in concert, John Williams performance.
Something. I mean, you got to do something.
Give me that. Give me anything that's better than 6.
But then again, dude, I wouldn't even mention. Like I said in the text, don't even mention Harrison Ford because it's like you don't want to get your hopes up. You know what I mean? Because who knows what the fuck it could be. It could be.
That's what I mean. But like when they respond, like how they responded to you, and it's straight up. It's just like, you know what, dude? It's worth the wait.
Yeah.
Worth the wait to me at that point is like we're gonna do something outside of what you're used to.
Yeah.
Carrie Fisher, Anthony Daniels, Kenny Baker, Mark Hamill.
That's
awesome if they're all there. But guess what? We saw them at the last 2 conventions, except for Kenny Baker, just at 6. But you had them at the last couple conventions. Yeah. If you're telling me like this is worth the wait, man, don't worry. You better drop some bombs, man. Like some big bombs. I need something
better than the last 2. It can't be
the same convention 3 times in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And like I pulled up the email right here, and he straight up says like, we definitely have some content and guests that are worth the wait and are going to start being announced over the next couple of weeks. Trust me when I say that your patience will be well worth what we have in store for this show. And that is from Chris, International Content and Talent Coordinator for Reed Pop.
Yeah.
So, Chris,
like,
don't fuck with me. Give me something good.
Yeah.
Because the Nerf Herders are coming for you.
But straight up,
we
like...
have to put this episode and tag him and then, like...
Send it in an email, hey, man.
Yeah, but straight up, it's,
hey, man.
we don't have this huge... It's not like we have this huge hatred for Reed Pop or anything. It's just the thing is we went to Celebration 5. Part of it being as exciting as it was our first time out, but the thing kicked off with such a bang because it was like, we waited in line, we're all amped up, and it's like, here you go, man. Like, we appreciate you guys coming out here and, like, busting your ass to get first. And it's like, holy shit, man. Like, it was just overload. Then you walk in the door and it's like, wow. Celebration 6, you wait in line, and at that point you're kind of expecting it. It's like, all right, we did this before, let's do it again. Like, we're kind of expecting to get something, let's get that amp. And, like, nothing happens. It's just like, shit, dude, now I'm a little let down walking in. And then you walk in and everything looks exactly the same.
Yeah, they use the same props, the same decorations.
That Lego signs, styling tees or whatever.
It's the same shit. Like, it was the same setup, same props, same decorations. The only thing that changed was the fucking banner that they, hung outside of the Orlando, convention center.
Yeah.
Everything else was the exact same. And I was just like, man, what?
Yeah.
Why did I just drive here for?
Yeah, and it was a
same
bummer,
convention?
Dude. It was a bummer. And like I said, man, we don't hate Reed Pop. If you guys are watching this, it's not like this hatred toward you. It's just like we're putting so much money into this. We probably sound like a bunch of nerds, but I'm telling you, there's thousands of people having the same discussion about how this event's been handled.
Absolutely.
People going, not going, whatever. And it's just give us something good, man. If it's the same rehash, you're just pissing people off. Like, I have faith in that email. Like, that got me excited again. I'm like, you know what? I'll wait it out, man. Like, let's see what's really going to get delivered. But I'm telling you, if it's the same rehash again, not only us, but a lot of people are going to be pissed.
Yeah.
And
it's a great way to...
damn well right.
It's a great way to lose, the fans. It's a great way to just lose them.
And money.
You're
that's
gonna...
what it's all boiled down to. It's like, how much money can they make?
Because, each celebration has grown significantly in attendance and production, Yeah. I mean, earlier celebrations were happening at, like, Indianapolis or Denver, like smaller convention centers. These last three, including this one, are gigantic, giant convention centers. Orlando's convention center is humongous, and Anaheim's is probably bigger, So it's like, you guys are upping the stakes every single time. You need to also counter that with, like, better content, better guests, better events, better everything.
Because you got two people to appease. You got your group of people who it's going to be their first time in Anaheim. It's like, this is my first Star Wars celebration. So these announcements with Carrie Fisher, Kenny Baker, Anthony Daniels, people are going to lose their shit. It's super exciting. It's like, awesome, they're going to be there, but we met them. So it's like, you got to appease these people, or it's just like, this is our first time, make us want to come back. But then you got to keep these people that want to keep coming back happy too. So I have faith in what they can do. I'm not like on this shitstorm on Reed Pop because that email got me a little bit excited. But I'm telling you, like I'm on that fine line where it's just like this bridge can like go far and I'm gonna be super excited, or it's gonna crack real quick. It's be like, you know what, I'm done with your company.
Yep, absolutely.
Like I'm such a white and black situation right now.
Yep, exactly. So
hot damn, was that a rant?
That was a rant.
That was a rant.
Fucking
all right, now we gotta fly through this other stuff because we are way over. So, comic books, real quick. Darth Vader.
So these new Star Wars comic books coming from Marvel they're all right. I mean, the writers are not really getting like everything that I would like them to get about Star Wars. But Darth Vader came out, and if you saw our episode last week, we did a review on Star Wars #1 from Marvel. This is kind of a offshoot. It basically like ties in Darth Vader and his life to that story.
You're still getting the story between A New Hope and Empire, like Vader's perspective now.
Vader's perspective between episodes 4 and 5. And the thing I didn't like about it was that they did this, they kind of included the same shit as last time, where he's basically like, I know this saber.
Yeah, I hate that.
I hate it a lot.
I hate it because this is what's driving me nuts about that. Like, oh my god, like it's seriously like getting under my skin.
Yeah.
It's like they're basically saying, in a sense, Vader discovers Luke is his son because he got a glimpse at this saber, and he puts it together like, oh, Obi-Wan gave this to him. I fought Obi-Wan on Mustafar. He took my saber. It's my son. It's like, I don't like that. It's I like the idea. It's like, dude, like he felt it through the Force, man. Like there's that connection. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And everything else about these comics, it's exciting and stuff. It's cool to see Vader go talk to the Emperor and stuff. Like after the Death Star blew up, and the Emperor's just like, you failed me, dude. Like, you failed me. You let the Death Star blow, man. Like, this isn't good.
And
you know, and I'm like, that's cool.
And what I liked about the movies is they had this clear disconnect from Vader and Anakin. Like, Vader didn't really know at points that he was Anakin. You know what I mean? It was
they
like
never referenced it.
He and Anakin are this separate entity, you know? Like, the Emperor would always say, no, they were the offspring of Anakin Skywalker.
Exactly.
Not Darth Vader, not who you used to be, but Anakin Skywalker. Like, they reference as a completely different person. And then Vader, through the ways of the Force, understands Luke is his son. And Luke has a sister, you know? I mean, he even says it, sister. You know what I mean? Like, he understands it, but he gets it through the Force. He doesn't have someone telling him, and he doesn't have to look at Luke's lightsaber to realize, oh, like, this is mine, and oh shit.
And some of that dialogue in there,
really
like
weak.
it's like some of it's strong, but some of that dialogue for Vader is just like, dude, like this isn't how Vader would talk. Like when the Emperor shows up with this guy and he's just like, are you hiding something from me? Like, Vader would not say something like that, dude.
He
wouldn't even say anything. He would
it's almost like it was a game, you know? Like the Emperor took one of the high commanders of like the Death Star, or he got off the Death Star before it blew up, but like, you know, the Emperor and this commander are kind of like talking together, and then Vader's like, "Are you guys hiding something from me?" Like almost a kid talking to his parents.
Hey, don't leave me out. Don't leave me out. Hey guys, hey,
please, I want to be in on it, please.
Yeah, that line dropped. I hated.
And the
that
Emperor
line.
was just like talking shit to Vader, basically being like, you know, you fucked up, like you screwed up, you're a screw up, you're a mess up. I can't trust you. This and that. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
No, because as soon as you introduce the Emperor in Episode 5, he's completely trusting of Vader.
Yeah.
You know?
Which there was like this. Like, it was cool to see them together. I was understanding the whole idea of like, I'm pissed at you, but it almost seemed a little too over the top.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It was
listen.
like a dad scolding his son, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, no. Their relationship is much different than that. Like, you can't tell Vader he's a poor apprentice.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it's fucking Darth Vader. And I don't know, so that kind of pissed me off.
Sounds like a total fucking letdown, dude. Like I wouldn't. It sounds
there's
like
some amazing
what
things
you're
in
saying.
it.
Like I probably wouldn't spend my money on.
There's really good things in it,
stuff,
dude. Like there's really good art. Like there's one specific. See, the thing that's kind of cool about it is like they're definitely doing fan service in there with certain things. So there's this one particular art piece on there that I love, dude, and it's Darth Vader on Tatooine, and he's staring out at the twin suns.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's pretty badass and symbolic. Like it's really cool to see like that iconic shot of Vader where Luke Skywalker was in A New Hope. I'm like, that's cool.
I also really like the beginning because the first like 2 pages is basically putting Vader in Luke's position at the beginning of Episode 6,
which was awesome.
So you have, you know, Luke approaching Jabba's palace, the door opening, Luke coming in with the shadow, and then he basically uses his Jedi mind tricks on what's his name, the Jabba's servant.
The grunt.
Oh, Bib Fortuna.
Yeah, Bib Fortuna, and then Fortuna, you know, escorts Luke to Jabba, and then Jabba's like, you can't use Jedi mind tricks on me. Vader does the exact same thing in this first like 2 pages, literally, and I thought that was really cool, like a really cool, you know, ode to.
But what was cool how he wasn't doing the mind tricks per se, as he was just using like brute force. Like it was like all like as a presence, dude.
Yeah,
he like kills the guards.
He's
and,
just
like goes to
like
Fortuna and just like fires up. He's like, now, like I'm not playing around. So it's like same entrance, but you could see the difference between the Jedi's path doing that and like the Sith path, which was kind of a cool contrast. Like,
yeah, that was really nicely done. Princess Leia's comic is coming out, I think in March.
Yeah, 2 of them, right? Issue 1 and 2 is in March.
Issues 1 and 2 in March. Darth Vader's next one is coming out at the end of February. So I guess, I mean, I'm gonna keep buying them because what the fuck, like
I will.
I'm a Star Wars nerd.
I'm intrigued by it, and I'm curious to see where they go with it. everything I'm pretty much on board with, except for the fact how they're already creating this relationship between Vader and Luke, which doesn't even start until when they confront each other on Cloud City. So I don't like how they threw this into this mix. I don't like that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to push something that really shouldn't be pushed. I think they could have had a much better product.
Dude. It does,
absolutely,
dude.
because I'm reading the comic and then I see that and I throw the book and I'm like, okay, like I can't take this seriously.
5-minute break.
Yeah. And I think they could have just done so much more if they just came up with more original stories. Because, like I was talking to you guys earlier, I feel like in Star Wars as like just an entire entity, including the movies, the books, the expanded universe, the comics, everything, it should all flow continuously and flawlessly, you know? Yeah. So like the movies, if there's books in between the movies, those books should flow perfectly with the movies and not reveal shit that is in a later movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
there's definitely some continuity errors in there.
Exactly. It's just,
so
that's my only beef with it so far.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, they're on the right path with some things, but I have a feeling this whole Vader Luke thing, since they introduced it in the first Star Wars comic, and like now they've kind of I just feel like they're gonna ride this horse the whole way, and like that it's just gonna I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, we'll definitely talk about the next one when it comes out. So
absolutely.
Let's get on to the video games. Bone Daddy, what you got?
All right, I'll try to be. We're overtime, dude. This
is
like
triple, that's all right.
This is like triple OT, man. This is like. All right.
Oh shit.
You're. We all know Zach. Zach. I can't pronounce your last name.
Strajewski.
What is it? How is it?
We just call him Jewski.
Okay, Jewski. Zach Jewski. All right.
Zach Attack.
All right. Well, he wanted me to do a review on Watch Dogs, but two news things first. 2K Games, the guys who made Bioshock 2 and stuff like that, made a game called Evolve. And Evolve is I
heard about that.
Evolve is a 4 versus 1. It's no story mode. I like my stories, and it's no story mode. You go in, it's just like fucking multiplayer, right?
Right.
You play as 4 different classes, like hunter, capture, stuff like that. And it's kind of like, think of it as like the movie Predator, right? Arnold and his team, they go to capture a predator, okay? Well, it's like 4 versus 1, and you can play as the monster. And like as the monster, there's like 3 like evolve, hence the levels, and obviously level 3 is like the fucking brute one, and you just fucking rip shit up and blah blah blah. Well, Evolve came out Tuesday from the developers, which a lot of people have been praising the game and having loads of fun with it, while at the same time others are getting bored of it very quickly because there's only so much you can do. You know what I mean? There's a controversy with the game though, is that the game fucking sells for $60, right? They're selling downloadable content, which is, I think, I'll talk about this next week because we just don't have time for it, which pisses me off, and this ties into Watch Dogs too, a little bit.
This shit, we got to pay like extra money for things.
DLC is downloadable content, so they're selling an additional, I want to say $40 or even $60 of downloadable content, like skins and shit. Like back in the day when you used to play a game and you're like,
you got it. Like when you played Halo, you could just download the new stuff.
Yeah, download it, or if you
new
do
maps,
something, I beat the game on hard, I get all these skins.
Achieve things.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. They're selling that shit now. So they're basically, it's like taking a fucking apple pie and you're calling the apple pie Evolve, and then you're taking a fucking chunk out of the apple pie and you're giving pieces back to you in chunks at a price, and you're saying, okay, here's
that's bullshit, dude.
And a lot of companies have been doing that now, and that's what the gaming industry is starting to turn into. It's like buying a fucking movie, and you're like,
oh, if I want the bonus features, I got to pay extra.
Yeah,
I want the deleted scenes.
You want to see how Man of Steel ends? Like, please insert $5. You know what I mean? Just like an arcade.
That's bullshit.
Like an arcade.
That's
you know
fucking bullshit.
So it's like, because they won't sell a game for $100. It's like, we'll get them to buy it first, and then once you get a couple hours into it, it's like, now we'll get you a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there.
Yeah, and here's the big thing.
$200 game by the end of it.
The developers came out and said, well, we have 100. I'm assuming that the development team, 2K Games, is 100 staff. We have 100 families to feed. Well, if you would have fucking like budgeted your game correctly, and you wouldn't be in this mess. Yeah. Like, you would have profited it.
You shouldn't be making games then.
Yeah, and I shouldn't be having to spend $120, $130, $140 on a fucking $60 game because I got a roof to pay, I got mortgage, I got fucking food. You know what I mean? Like, where the fuck do you get off telling us?
Like, oh, you have to pay your employees so they can live, but like that makes it unaffordable to me because I'm trying to live.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
maybe,
like you said, budget your shit correctly. Pay your employees, a living wage that they can live nicely on. Maybe take cuts out of your like $1 million CEO's paycheck or some shit, because those motherfuckers don't need to be making.
I mean, who
much.
knows how big that team is, but it's a pretty reputable company. All right, next news. February 20th marks the release of The Order 1886 from the developers Ready at Dawn. Ready at Dawn is the studio's first time making a AAA game for Sony. It's coming out. It's this Victorian world, kind of like Lycans, stuff like that era. 1900s industrial age and shit. Looks fucking awesome. Like I was telling you about last week, cinematic cutscenes turn into like gameplay seamlessly. Looks fucking beautiful. One of the most beautiful games I've ever seen.
Hell yeah.
They've announced recently that the game has gone gold. ready to ship is 100% fucking ready, complete, dude. Like, they are ready to kick ass. So you know those guys went out and fucking got drunk. You know, they partied after all that hard work. All right, Zach, Watch Dogs review.
Give me my gruel.
Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is a game that came out last year. Now, prior to it being released last year in May of 2014, it was shown at E3 2012, and it looked fucking awesome, right? It was like, oh my god, right? People are just like all over the place. We'll come to find out. Come to find out that as the game got closer and closer to release, the graphics have been severely downgraded, right? And people were just fucking pissed off. I'm not really a good reviewer, so I just made like bullet points of just things going down the list. Ubisoft's hype for the game before it even came out. They hyped the shit out of it. Like I said, a graphical downgrade, and by the time it was released, people were just like, what the fuck is this? Like, 2 years ago, this shit was dynamite. Yeah. And now it looks like fucking pixelated bullshit. Yeah. You know? Like, okay. The lead character's name is Aiden Pierce. He lacks personality and diversity from its voice actor. I don't know if it's the voice actor's fault or due to what the developers, Ubisoft, wanted to achieve. So he's kind of like the Aiden Pierce, the character is kind of like a one-trick pony. The synopsis is, this mob killed your fucking niece, right? And you're hell-bent on revenge. So you're kind of like this John Wick type guy, but you're a hacker with like John Wick type of fucking... And at the same time, you got this fucking voice. You kind of talk like this, and you don't have no personality. And you're just like... You know what I mean? It's just... it's based in Chicago.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
it's basically Keanu Reeves probably would have done a better job than this guy.
It's me. I'm a watchdog.
Yeah, there's lots of popping in the game. By popping, I mean like when you're driving down the road. Usually you can see what they call draw distance. So the draw distance you could see like way down. You know what I mean? Like the draw distance, you could see the mountain in the way distance. You know, but popping is like when you get closer and closer to that mountain. It's like, you know, bushes pop.
Like Super Nintendo.
Yeah, it looks like Cruising USA.
The poppin' is fucking... Yeah, exactly.
When you're driving the fucking Corvette, dude, just little like fucking reindeer pop up and you explode them, you know?
The poppin' in that game was very, very noticeable. Like, to where you would be driving down the road and you would need to turn down this road and all of a sudden, like, the light would just... You know what I mean? Some of the cool things about the game, the hacking is pretty cool. You can like totally just disable city blocks with like the touch of your cell phone. They make it to where this like security system is like the only security system in the entire world that runs everything, like the sewer systems, the street lights, webcams, cell phones, city blocks. You know what I mean? So it's like you get these upgrades so you can like turn lights from green to red. Do traffic jams if the cops are on your ass. So it's kind of cool.
It's like Die Hard 4.
Right? It's like cool, yeah, exactly. It's cool shit like that. The downtown loop is captured pretty accurately, but the south side is very gray pastel coloring scheme, red light district type, and the suburbs are the suburbs of Chicago, which obviously we all fucking know what it looks like, are completely inaccurate with mountain tunnels. Mountain tunnels and hillbilly log cabin bars filled with bikers, and so it's completely.
You got a problem with Menudo?
Yeah, like you're heading out of Chicago, and all of a sudden you wind up in like fucking like bumfuck nowhere. The open world is fairly decent in size, loaded with content to keep you busy for way past what the story of the game, excuse me, is what it gives you. I'm sorry, I'm tongue-tying my words here. I'm lost for time. It's great if you're looking to platinum the game. Zach, if you're on PS4 or Xbox, if you're looking to get like achievements and stuff like that. I tried platinum and I was like, I don't have fucking time for this shit. Like, I'm fucking taking the game out.
Yeah.
Most realistic water I've seen. It rivals the Grand Theft Auto 5 ported onto PS4. The water, when you're on a boat and it's like, whoa, it's fucking pretty good. The online portion is pretty cool, but also annoying when you're in the middle of it doing. The online is like, it's like this. You're playing the game, right? And all of a sudden you get this like notification like you're being hacked. That's the online. Like, Scotty's playing the game and all of a sudden like some guy named Joe Blow 123, like you're being hacked by Joe Blow 123.
So you hack each other. like other online players.
So if Scotty wants to find out who he is, if you want the achievement, if you want the trophy to get it to platinum, you need people to hack you. And so Scotty needs to like get out of his vehicle or whatever and find this guy.
You're in the middle of gameplay?
In the middle of a gameplay, yeah. And like this guy will be hiding. Joe Blow will be hiding behind a car or something. He needs to find him. You know, you need to find him. And if you don't, then you lose. If you do, then hey, you win. You know, it's kind of annoying. I put down it's annoying because it interrupts. It interrupts you with notifications saying that you're being hacked and throws you out of the immersion of what you're currently doing. So like you're in the zone, all of a sudden it's like you're being hacked. Motherfucker.
Yeah,
like,
so it kind of throws like you're like a wrench in the game.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that'd be annoying, dude. Just constantly getting interrupted by all these assholes wanting to get their achievements.
Yeah.
I got a platinum!
Yeah, a couple more. I have 3 more. The in-car radio stations are the worst radio stations I've ever heard. The in-game music is pretty good, but the radio stations are absolutely shit. Grand Theft Auto puts it to shame. Like their radio stations for GTA are just like they make good songs, you know.
Yeah.
The side characters are actually more interesting. Their character development is actually more interesting than the main character, Aiden Pierce himself, which I said lacks personality. Last one, major letdown. I think I mentioned this before, but I said major letdown from the E3 2012 hype, but still a fun experience for an open world driving game from a developer's first time kind of doing something like that to kind of like make competition for Grand Theft Auto. They did confirm Watch Dogs 2, and especially for a company that's had a lot of fucking flack in 2014 because of this shit. Like they hype shit up, it looks good. Then when the final product comes out, you're missing shit with the DLC shit I mentioned.
Yeah.
And then it just runs like garbage. There's bugs. There's this. There's that. It's like I'm spending $60 on a fucking unfinished product.
Right.
You know what I mean? I gave it a 7 out of 10.
So
right.
worth full price or what? Buy
No,
used for
fuck that.
buy used for 20?
Zach, don't even think.
Yeah.
Zach, don't even if you
Gamefly.
Yeah, Gamefly. do not spend $60 on Watch Dogs. Spend $40 and you'll have fun with it. You'll be like, okay, this is well worth the $40. Fuck, maybe even $30, Zach. Like $30. That's my final offer. That's Watch Dogs in a nutshell.
You heard?
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah.
All right, we got to wrap this bad boy up. So, like we will do every podcast, we're going to close this out with an epic movie quote. And today's epic movie quote is going to be from Richard Dreyfuss in Jaws. And just one of the coolest moments of that movie, man, when Quint is out on, the front of the Orca and he's about to shoot Jaws, dude. He's coming by, they got to tag him with the barrel. And Hooper's back there tying it up, getting it ready, man, to put the tracker on it and stuff.
Yep.
And he's just like, Hoopa! Come on, Hoopa! He's just like rushing him, dude. The music is so intense, dude. The shark's coming. It's just like, holy shit! He's like, don't wait for me! And it's that was almost pretty good. Just the way,
sounds just like him.
Yeah, dude.
The way he says that, and just in the moment in that movie, and the music and everything.
Yeah, it's
one of the coolest lines ever.
Really well.
It's so natural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can tell. It almost seems like Spielberg just gave the actors just spontaneous. What's the word I'm looking for? Where you just kind of do things on the fly.
Yeah, it's like improv.
Yeah, improv. Yeah, improvisation. Yeah.
But something that's so cool about that movie, man. Jaws is classic, man. It might be my favorite film next to Star Wars. Like I just love it, man. I'm obsessed with that movie. I love so much about that movie, man, is because like the chemistry between the three of them, between Roy Scheider and Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss, is just off the chain, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And Robert Shaw and Richard Dreyfuss were not getting along
Yeah,
when they were making that movie.
They
and it
hated
shows,
each other.
dude.
Yeah.
Like it added so much to their performances.
Absolutely.
I seriously think to this day that Jaws is one of the best acted films in cinema history.
Definitely.
Yeah, dude.
Definitely.
I would almost say it's the best, dude.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Those
It's
performances.
insane. And that's 1975.
Yeah. That was phenomenal.
I remember asking my uncle and my mom and stuff like that about Jaws. When it came out, and they said people were actually like they were scared, like they didn't want to go to the beach.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that movie probably had
swim.
the biggest impact, like ever in a cinema, man.
You wanna know
nobody
something
wanted to go
funny?
in the water after that movie. You know.
You want to know something funny?
Huh.
Jaws is the reason why I started taking showers instead of baths.
I was gonna say, is it a bathtub
Really?
story?
Yeah.
I was a little kid. My parents showed it to me. I was probably like, I don't know, like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
And watched it. And I was like, yeah, I like this movie. And then I got in the tub and I was just like waiting for that fucking fin to just rise up and come at me, and I'm like, I mean, I know it sounds stupid, but I was like 8 years old, so whatever, man.
It's either the Finn or Freddy's hand, dude. One or the other coming up that
and I from that day on, I was like, I'm taking showers from now on, like straight up, no more baths. And so I don't know. I guess I can thank Steven Spielberg and Jaws for taking that next step in my manhood. And telling me to stand up when I wash my body. Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I fucking love that movie, man. Like the chemistry is so natural, and like I love it that just they hated each other in real life, you know, and it just showed so well on camera. Like even just the between Hooper and Quinn when they're like bickering about how Hooper is like this college graduate and Quinn's like the roughneck and he's like, give me your hands, like look at your fucking sissy hands, like these aren't the hands of a sharker, you know what I mean? Because he's like, we're gonna go shocking,
we're gonna shocking. Hell yeah, dude.
So that movie, oh fuck, I need to watch it tonight when I get home,
dude. It's just it's too good, man.
It's too good.
That's the
dude. It's on sale for.
It's a classic.
It's on sale for Blu-ray at like Walmart for like $9.
Yeah.
Like
buy it now.
I know. I'm telling you, like, go buy it. Like
it's so good, man.
It is phenomenal, and the Blu-ray conversion's awesome.
Oh, dude, it is one of the best converted Blu-rays I have ever seen.
Yep.
It is gorgeous, man. That water is just oh my god. The whole movie when they're out on the Orca, dude, that water is just gorgeous.
Yep.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. What's funny though is that the original Jaws is sitting at the bottom of the ocean somewhere because like it broke like halfway through the filming, like it didn't work, so it's like sitting somewhere in the ocean. I want to go find it.
Yeah, right. Screw you, Titanic. We're going for Jaws.
Yeah, right.
Oh man, that's awesome. Shit. Cool. Well, that's gonna do it then. There probably be a lot of Jaws references throughout this podcast and Star Wars and all that stuff. Oh, yeah. That's what we do. But that's awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We will be back next week, and until then, keep on nerf herding.